Open the door now, Zolt! The incessant pounding on the door and the sound of my brother Brody's pissed-off voice pulled me out of my drunken haze. I peeled one eyelid open and groaned. Where the hell am I? The bed moved and I turned my head and groaned again. The last 24 hours came back to me in all its ugly detail. Ireland had left me, for Marcus of all people, because I had unleashed crazy Zolt on her. Now I lay in bed with a woman I didn't even know, in an apartment I hadn't expected to ever see again. On top of all this, my head throbbed like a bass drum spurred on by the hangover from hell. Zolt! T-Bone is going to break it down if you don't fucking open it! Who's Zolt? The woman next to me asked. Nobody, I mumbled. Fucking nobody. Zolt, last chance! Brody's voice boomed through the door. I glanced over at the bong, wishing we hadn't smoked at all. Hell, we'd even drained the several bottles of tequila we'd brought with us. Only a couple of enticing drops remained at the bottom of the bottle. Though the action was fruitless, I reached down and picked up one of them, tipping back the very last drop into my mouth. I growled my irritation and threw the bottle to the floor. Letting out a low grumble, I returned my head to the pillow. There would be no numbing myself until I got home. What a fucking mess. I had indulged myself in an epic bender. The need to get lost and forget the shit of the last 2 days had trumped better judgment. John, who is that banging on the door? A feminine hand stroked my chest and I cringed. Majorly hungover, the naked girl next to me wasn't as appealing this morning as she'd been last night. She didn't smell like her. She didn't look like her. She simply wasn't Ireland. With my eyes squeezed closed, I waited for the door to fly open. It would happen any minute. The cavalry had arrived to save my sorry ass. It didn't matter that I didn't care, nor deserve, to be saved. He asked me to marry him, Zolt, and I said yes. Those words tortured me worse than any physical pain I'd ever experienced. I'd ruined the one thing that meant everything to me. I'd fucked up so badly that being with Marcus seemed like a better alternative. In my chest, my heart was a shredded heap of sinew and muscle. No amount of no-name blondes, alcohol, and pot eased my pain. Ireland Wilkes had saved me that day on the football field. For 6 years, I'd thought her a hallucination. The best day of my life had been the day she became real. Until now, losing my football career had been the worst thing to happen to me. That paled in comparison. Losing my angel, my seraph, hurt much worse. The door slammed open and the sound of heavy footsteps approached the bedroom. I stared at my naked self, knowing the polite thing would be to cover myself with a sheet. But I didn't give a shit. Let my brother Brody and T-Bone see me in all my glory. If I were a gentleman, I'd cover up Blondie next to me. But I didn't care about her either. Brody walked into the bedroom and assessed the situation. He picked up one of the empty bottles and shook his head. Shit, Zolt, are you insane? John, who are these men? I didn't agree to a foursome, Blondie complained, pulling the sheet over herself. Don't worry, sweetheart, not interested, Brody replied with a hint of disgust in his voice. Get up and go, the party is over. John, do you want me to leave? She asked. I nodded. The attraction of last night faded in the cold light of day, and I waited for Brody's lecture to commence. Rolling over, I pulled the pillow over my head. I was in no mood to be scolded for acting out, even if I deserved it. Here's 10 bills. Take it and leave, T's deep voice commanded. Forget you ever met him. If you don't have a ride, I'll arrange for one. The mattress dipped as Blondie got off the bed. I have my car. There was something wrong with him anyway. He couldn't get it up and he kept calling me Ireland. Just go, Brody sighed. After a few minutes of clothes rustling, the door opened and closed.